Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are doing well. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about my VSG, my gastric sleeve, my weight loss surgery update. It's been 3 years since I got the surgery, over 3 years since I got the surgery. I had my surgery in January 2022 with Health Store Turkey in Turkey. I'm here 3 years later with more experience and more to say. So I'm going to try and make this video really quick because I have so much to talk about. I have my notes here. Well, I did have my notes. Okay, I have them. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you guys, obviously, about my journey. I'm going to give you guys a recap of the last 3 years. I'm going to tell you some of the pros and some of the cons of having the surgery. Would I recommend it? Would I do it again? I'm also going to share some testimonies of other people who got the surgery using my link. A lot of people that you guys know had the surgery using my link. I'm not here to expose them, but hey babe, I'm just filming. Yeah, I'm not here to expose anyone. That's their journey. I'm here to talk about my journey with the surgery. So I'm gonna make it quick, but before, do you feel like people got used to you being the size that you guys were?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
When
Sometimes
my brother saw me,
he cried. I'm confident in my choice. I'm happy that I made this choice.
it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
There are going to be so many
But
people
they've
that say, well, why did you
always
do
criticised
that? And you know what my response is? Well, why do you think? Like,
surgery changed your lifestyle.
yeah,
it's changed
the
what
lifestyle.
Enjoy.
Even like your relationships
Mhm.
become more enriched because the focus is no longer
the
Just the
food.
food.
on the food.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
If I could have eaten a whole pizza before, how can you tell me I can't eat an egg?
Yeah. What was the first thing that you ate after?
Or tried to eat.
Yeah.
Oxtail. I'm looking back on that Breeny and I'm a little bit envious because I was so skinny. And I have put on some weight since the surgery, which we'll get into my stats later. But at my lowest weight, I weighed 65 kg, which was 10 stone. At my highest, before I got the surgery, I think I was 101 kg. At my lowest, I got down to 65 kg within 1 year. So the results do not lie. I was losing weight so rapidly that I got to a point where people were like, okay, Breeny, do not lose any more weight. And I was like, I can't help it. I'm eating, I'm trying to eat, but I'm still losing weight. And honestly, I envy those times when I could just eat what I want, but I don't envy those times because I wasn't able to eat a lot. That's the reason why I was losing weight. And now I'm able to eat more and my restriction has been stretched. Still not a lot, but I can definitely eat more than I did at the time. And that is where I'm at now. So, but I'm looking back on those videos and I'm like, I'm so skinny. I miss her, but I can get back there. Thank God I can get back there. But yeah, just a couple stats. I am 5'8.5". So I lost 36 kg with this surgery and I surpassed my goal weight. I had 85% of my stomach cut away, which is the maximum that is legally allowed to take away of the stomach. And I sure did miss that 85% of my stomach, especially in the early days. So I think it will be best for me to talk about some of the cons of the surgery before I go into the pros of the surgery. Yeah, I think I'll do it that way. But some of the cons. The first one I mentioned in the first video that I made was that your whole life changes and you don't realize how much joy one gets out of eating food. And you also don't realize how much of life is eating. So much of celebrations is eating. You know, it's someone's birthday. What do they want to do? They want to go out and eat. You're catching up with a friend. What do you want to do? You want to go out and eat. You're having family and friends over. What do? You eat food. And so I think if I wasn't busy with work and moving and shaking things, I probably would have been very depressed. But because I was active and moving, I really wasn't missing food that much. But there were times that I was actually quite miserable because I realized how badly I used to comfort eat. And when I wasn't able to comfort eat with food anymore because I would have like one popcorn and I'll be full up, I had to find another outlet. And that was probably what was making me very sad. So another con is keloid scarring. If you have keloids, which is basically like when you have a wound and the wound, it heals over itself. I think that's the best way to describe it. It becomes a lump in a sense. So I have those 3 on my stomach, which I don't mind right now because, girl, I left the crop tops in 2023. I don't be showing my body like that anyway. When I go to the beach, I'm in a full swimsuit. So there's nothing for me to be ashamed of, and I can get it removed, but it's not really bothering me at the moment. So that would be a con, I guess. Another con of the surgery was quite low energy. I hate taking vitamins, like swallowing them. So I wasn't getting as much vitamins. So I had really low energy. And when you're able to eat, even if you're eating good food, like protein, like vegetables, you have to eat it, enough of it, to get that energy. But because I wasn't eating enough of it, I was tired. I was fatigued. I was low energy quite a lot. Then I found liquid vitamins, and that absolutely changed everything. I was able to get my supplements through the spray liquid that I bought on Amazon. So that was really, really helpful. Another con was that I wasn't able to drink and eat at the same time. Before my surgery, I wasn't a big, eat, drink. When I see people eat and drink at the same time, I'm just like, you're strange. But I would normally eat my food and then maybe like 5 minutes after get a drink. But I had to wait, like in the beginning, it was like an hour, half an hour. Now it's about 5-10 minutes, which I'm so grateful for, because sometimes I have to choose between, am I thirsty or am I hungry? And if I'm thirsty, I have to drink and then wait an hour to eat. And you don't realize how much like drinking and eating go hand in hand. And when you only have to pick one, that's a bit difficult. The next con would be real intense cravings. Like you'd eat, you're satisfied, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, these intense cravings come, like they literally come in. They're like, I'm coming to get you. And you just get so hungry. And I don't know if this is common for everybody that has the surgery. I know for me, especially if I had like coffee or a latte, I will get like shakes, like anxiety shakes that I'm like, and there were times I was like, I need sugar. And I'll start shaking and I have to drink like something sugary. I don't know if that's like undiagnosed diabetes that I reject in Jesus' name. I don't know if that has anything to do with surgery, but that's something that I noticed. And then these cons are some of the things that some of my friends, my older sister got the surgery as well, that they noticed. My sister noticed hair loss. One of my friends noticed indigestion, where she'll get heartburn. I didn't face any of those things, thank God. Some people complain about loose skin. I didn't have any loose skin. I think it's because I wasn't really big for a long time. I was only like that size for about a year or two. But I think maybe if you've been like big for your whole life and you get the surgery, you may have that skin. Do not quote me on that. I do not know. I'm not a doctor. I'm just assuming. But I didn't have any skin that I had to get removed. But I do know a lot of people that do have the surgery. They do have the extra skin and they do get it removed eventually. One thing that some people mention is that they get to a point in their weight loss where they stall and they're not losing any weight. I know some people that had their surgery that were asking me, 1 or 2 people that had their surgery was asking me about that. And I said to him, just be patient. Don't worry about it. Your body's changing and it's adjusting, so don't worry about it. I don't think I had a stool situation. I might have, but I didn't notice it because I wasn't focusing on my weight. I wasn't weighing myself on the scales. I was just trying to survive not being able to eat. But like I said, I was actually so busy that I wasn't focused on my weight and the weight loss. I was allowing it to do what it was doing, and I was just continuing on life as normal. I would still eat the same times I would eat, but I would just eat a lot less. I think the last con that I would say is that I waste a lot of food. So I'm not a type of person that will go and do a big shop and buy like, fresh meat, fresh vegetables, fresh fruit, because I don't eat much. I still do not eat much. I'll go to Costco and be so ambitious, like, yeah, I'm gonna eat so much healthy food. So I'll go to the green section, I'll buy all this fresh produce that you have to consume within a week, and I couldn't consume it. So I find that I've wasted in the past when I was still thinking with like a person that had a normal stomach. I wasted a lot of food until I started actually realizing, like, only buy what you need for the day or the 2 days. Only buy for 2 days at a time, so you can stop wasting food. Also, what's becoming more annoying now is that every time I go out to eat, I have to take a doggy bag. I have to take it away. I never finish my food. And I think I remember in the early days, like, it was a bit embarrassing because I didn't tell everybody that I had the surgery. So when I would sit across from someone or friends or whatever, and they would be eating, I would always delay eating so that they can get a head start, so that I'm not staring at them eating whilst I've now taken 2 spoonfuls of food and now I'm stuffed and I'm sitting there with my food in front of me like an idiot while they're like chomping away, like, are you not hungry? I'm like, are you not hungry? Oh, you don't eat that much. I'm like, no. And I pace myself, and this is really strange. This is really weird. But sometimes I would literally pretend that I'm putting the food in my mouth. Like when I get to that point where I'm full, I'll actually pretend like I'm putting the food in my mouth because I don't want to look weird, like sitting there while everybody's eating and I'm just like, I'm full up. It's like, you've only had 2 spoons. And I'm like, I know, but I'm stuffed. But he's now used to like me like not eating all of my food and taking it away. Or when we would go away and it's all inclusive and I'll like take snacks, I'll take food away to my room so that I can eat it later. And I'll just have so many like stuff just laying around, like I'm gonna eat it later, and I never eat it later. It's very embarrassing. So that's the last con. So restrictions. So for those of you that don't understand the whole restriction thing, obviously they're taking away 85% of my stomach, right? It's gone, yeah? So when you first get the surgery, you're like a sliver. Your stomach is like a sliver, so you can't really eat anything. Over time, it starts to stretch, but it'll never go back to the full 100% because the stomach is gone, but it can expand. So as much as I'm still restricted now, it's not as bad as it was in the beginning. In the beginning, I could barely eat anything, which is why I was losing weight quickly. So now the restriction has lifted and I've been noticing it over the last year, I say, just like being able to eat more. But I'm seeing it as a game, like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm able to eat like a whole meal now. Whereas before I couldn't eat a whole meal of oxtail. I was seeing it as a game and I wasn't consciously thinking like, I know you're now excited that you can now eat, but remember to watch your weight. And in the beginning, I was able to get away with, eating snacks, whatever, because it goes down easy, because it's not like a steak or chips or something. It's literally like slider foods is what they call them, things that can go down easy. So I got into that habit of just eating snacks, chocolate, because I'm like, I'm still losing weight. But then once the restrictions started to lift, I started to eat more of those things. And that's the reason why I have gained weight. So how much do I weigh now? So I now weigh 78 kg. At my lowest, I was 65 kg. And I believe I started gaining the weight back just in the last year. Just in the last year, I've started to like gain the weight back. And now I'm starting to notice it. So when you get to that place where you're like, okay, stop. Because if you don't stop, you're going to go over the edge. And I'm actually at that stop line. So now I'm more intentional about working out, watching what I'm eating. I can't get away with what I was able to get away with in the first year, which is the honeymoon period. And now that I'm out of the honeymoon period, I'm working out more. Before I couldn't work out. I didn't need to work out. But now I have to work out, watch my weight, watch what I'm eating, because I don't want to go back to that place that I was. And thank God I'm not there. But when you're in that place, it's a very slippery slope. One wrong move, you're going back. So I remember saying in my last video, like, I don't know how people can actually gain the weight back because I can barely eat anything. Yeah, well, that doesn't last long. So that's that. So everyone has to understand that this weight loss surgery is only a head start. It's just an extra help to help you to achieve your goals, which thank God I was able to do. But it is a way of life and it does require you to change your habits. And if you don't change your habits, you will go backwards. That's the way people gain weight. Don't change their habits. And like I said, the honeymoon period for me is over. So now on to the pros. So the first one is that the restrictions helped me so much to change my habits and my relationship with food, okay? Like I said before, I was no longer able to use it to emotionally eat. So I was no longer eating for emotional reasons. I was eating for nutrition. And that is super, super important in this journey. And obviously one of the pros in the beginning was that I was able to still eat what I wanted and still lose weight. That's the dream for every woman. Like that is the dream for every woman, to be able to eat and not gain weight. Honestly, it was a good time. But like I said, I was restricted, so I couldn't eat a lot. So there wasn't much fun, but I did like that idea where I didn't have to be thinking, if I eat this, I'm going to gain weight. It was a very, very freeing time for me. Another pro was that I didn't have to worry about my weight. Anyone that is overweight or struggles with their body image knows that having to constantly think, worry, be concerned about your weight, what you can't wear, what you can wear, what you look like, what you don't look like. So much of our minds are consumed when we don't like our bodies. And not having to worry about that that is just amazing, because there's so much stress in the world. There's so many other things to worry about, whether you have children, whether you have a family, whether you are studying, whether you're working. Your weight should not be another thing that is stressing you out. And I'm so glad that that pressure has been lifted, because there's nothing worse than going to a changing room and being so sad that you just can't fit into the clothes. You're the size you used to wear, you don't wear it anymore. It's very disheartening. So I was so happy about that. Another pro was the amount that I was able to lose. I never expected it. I never expected me to be able to drop that much weight. In such a what seemed like a short space of time. I would say within the year I had gone through so many different sizes, like different clothing sizes, and I remember at one point I was wearing an extra small in Zara. I was wearing an extra small in Zara, and honestly, I was feeling myself, like going on holiday, you know, wearing a bikini or whatever, and feeling free, like wearing whatever I wanted to wear. Like, you can't, like, priceless. Another pro was obviously being able to manage my emotions aside from comfort eating. I think that was definitely a big thing for me, you know, being able to learn how to manage my emotions and not comfort eat to eat my emotions, if that makes sense. And so the weight loss surgery also helps you to manage that. Obviously not in the beginning, because in the beginning you might just be very sad because your lifestyle has changed, but eventually you'll start to thank it for it. Another pro was it was the push and the help that I needed to actually start. I think for a lot of people that struggle with their weight, it's just that initial starting. And once you start whatever it is, whether it's getting surgery, working out, it's just that first push to start. Once you're in a flow of it, everything gets so much better. But this was the kickstart that I needed. Like I said in my last video, I did the work and I did keto, I did lose weight. Then lockdown happened, I put the weight back on again, and it was just a disaster, really. So it was definitely the kickstart that I needed. I did not want to go and get, you know, BBL or liposuction. I didn't want us to take the fat away. I wanted to shred it, get rid of it. And so one of the best decisions I've ever made is having this surgery, because I could not imagine what I would now look like if I didn't have the surgery. I feel like I literally would have been a balloon. And I would not have been happy, and so many things in my life would be different. Sorry to say, but I just wouldn't even be in that headspace to meet someone. I'd probably be like really self-conscious, just not myself, just not me, you know. So the surgery really helped me, and the pros really is that I look the way that I want to look, that I'm slim. That is just a pro. I'm at the weight that I want to be at. I'm healthy, my back doesn't hurt, my leg doesn't hurt when I'm working, I don't have sciatica anymore. A lot of the other things that come with weight gain, I do not suffer with it anymore, and I'm happy and I'm confident in my body. And that is the biggest pro of this surgery. It is really important that you go to the right service provider for this surgery. I've heard some horror stories, and not all providers are created equal. There are some very ghetto providers, but honestly, where I went for mine, Health Store Turkey, I can't fault them. And for me, that lives in the UK, is very local. Even those who are abroad, it's not that far, and you also get a chance to sightsee and see a bit of Turkey as well, which is always great. If you say a day or two, you're able to get off the surgery and go up and actually explore, which is amazing, which I did with my mum. They're actually very affordable as well. I don't have any faults with Health Store Turkey. I think I mentioned in my last video I was considering doing a breast lift. I didn't do that because of the scar situation, and they're so, you know, you trust the company. Like, a company will be like, okay, just do it with us because we want money. I had a consultation, they were like, you may scar, you have keloids, so maybe don't do it. Like, what company is going to say don't do it? What company is not going to take your money? Do you know what I mean? So that's when I know that they're more concerned about the health of the patient than actually making money. Integrity is everything for me, so that was good. But yeah, I decided against it, and I'm glad I didn't do it. I'm glad I didn't do it, because I'm learning to just embrace the flaws. You know, no one's perfect at the end of the day. Being comfortable in my body to a certain extent, because obviously the weight for me, The boobs, they're fine. They can sag, but the body needs to be. So in a nutshell, would I do it again? Absolutely yes. There's nothing else to cut off, but if I was to do it again, I would absolutely do it again, especially with this company that I went to. Honestly, one of the best decisions that I've made. If you're on the fence about, you know, doing it, I understand. It feels very risky, but honestly, as someone that's had surgery twice, it's not a risk at all. It's actually not risky. It's just something that you have to do. And I'm glad I did it in January 2022. It was a fresh start. And I just loved, like, seeing my body change and get slimmer and slimmer without me having to really do much. say it's like the easy way out, but mentally challenging. Mentally, it was very, very challenging to change my relationship with food, which once you can do that, you can change your whole life. It's not the food that's a struggle, it's the emotions, especially as women. It is the emotions that come with eating and the pleasure that we are addicted to. So I got a few testimonials from a few people that did the surgery. So I'm going to include that right now. And then I'm going to come back and answer some of you guys' questions that you asked me on Instagram. So check this out.
SCHNEL HANSON, health and confidence coach for women. Having reached out to Breeny and listened to her transformational journey with weight, I then decided to take the plunge myself into losing weight, but actually changing my whole mindset. My struggles with my weight were pushing on to 15 stones, but it wasn't so much about the stones, it was how I felt and my mobility and just getting really out of breath walking up the stairs, and more importantly my BMI. My BMI was very high, and when it was too high there were other complications that could have a negative impact in terms of your heart health. Having tried different fad diets over the years and maybe cheating on those diets, so I felt that having a gastric sleeve would not only change the way I look and feel, but also give me longevity in terms of quite a small person bone wise, and that I shouldn't be 15 stones, heavy, out of breath, and still young. I booked my gastric sleeve after 2 months of research, speaking with Breeny, looking at other evidences and success stories. I decided to book it in April 2023, and that was the start of my journey when I wanted to change. A decision that I only shared with my dad at the time, who accompanied me on that journey. For me, booking it with Health Door Turkey was an experience. I think my first encounter, from picking up the phone, asking several questions, the answers that I received back instilled a lot of confidence in me that it was the right company. They done a thorough investigation in terms of my other health element that I had at the time, set out a realistic plan of recovery expectations, also highlighted possible risks. For me, it was more about my personal journey, so that's why I kept that to myself and shared after. So yeah, that was 2 years ago, but I made up my mind that this is what I wanted to do. So I remember having a celebration of my last Big Mac, and it was literally my last Big Mac because I haven't really gone back. They made me feel comfortable and welcoming. The accommodation was like 5-star, really luxury, comfortable. It had this home-to-home feel. So I didn't feel like I was going into surgery, and I think that really helped. It wasn't like, the blue gowns that we get in NHS. It was like that comfort feeling, and speaking with not just the surgeon but the entire team just gave me that reassurance that I'll be okay. So post-surgery, when I came out, they highlighted that I had an itis hernia, which is something that most women can have, either hereditary or through childbirth. And I struggled with it without actually knowing I had it. For years, women would suspect that I was maybe pregnant when I wasn't. So I was quite glad that they removed that during the whole surgery process. They highlighted the benefits of that, and I can see the benefits in myself today. So post-surgery, you speak with the dietitian. They give you a plan that is up to 6 months. Post 6 months, you are part of a wider network in terms of Facebook. 5 months post-surgery, I lost 5 stones. Maybe quite dramatic. People that were used to seeing SCHNEL 15 stones versus 8 stones. And, you heard different comments of where you look well, when you don't look really well. But actually, I felt well in myself. I think what was important for me was that transformational was not just about the look and appearance, but it was about that mindset change and how my relationship with food had changed over time. And during this time, I still kept in contact with Breeny and other women that took the operation at this very similar time, and we just shared our success stories, and having that feedback with the management as well, and having that constant contact with the dietitian gave me a reassurance that I was on the right path. I feel fitter, lifestyle has changed, how I look at the food, and there's no going back.
All right, let's find the questions. Oh, loads of questions. I probably have answered a lot of the questions in the video, so I'm not going to repeat any, but yeah. Was it all worth it? Any loose skin? No. How is your appetite now? I can eat a horse. No, I'm joking. My appetite is still limited. I'm probably going to insert like a meal that I had and how much I was able to eat, so you guys can get a rough idea of how much I'm able to eat now. but I can't eat as much as I want. Going to a buffet, forget about it, because I'm never going to enjoy myself. And I've just learned to leave the food on the table. I know you don't like wasting food, but just leave it alone. Only take what you can eat and don't stress yourself out. Is it as painful as a BBL? No, it's not as painful as a BBL. Yeah, nothing is as painful as a BBL. Any regrets? No, none. All the positives outweigh the negatives. There was barely any negatives. It's just a lifestyle adjustment, which we all have to do anyway. It was actually a good mental challenge for me. Anything I would have done differently? I would have done it sooner. No, I would have done it sooner. No. I wouldn't have done it sooner. I did that at the perfect time. Anything I would have done differently? No. So this question is too personal, but your breasts, did you get them done or gradually reduce? Yeah, that's a good question, because yeah, your boobs do get slimmer when you lose weight. So I didn't get anything done to my boobs. It's fat, isn't it? When you lose weight, you lose your breasts. So that's just the way it is. Did you get a bit of your appetite back and the joy of eating? The joy of eating, has it returned? Yes and no. Yes and no, because if I know my limits, I can actually really enjoy food. Only time when I'm trying to eat more than I can eat, I'm not going to find joy. So if I only put on my plate what I'm going to eat, I can happily enjoy that meal. Would you do it again or go back on time? Or you go back on time? Would you do it again? I answered that question. Yes, I would. Do you find it hard going out for meals socially? Do you have to get starters and small plates? Yes. All small plates. And that's how I enjoy it, because you feel like you got a bit of this small plate, a bit of that small plate, a bit of that small plate, and you're happy. Like, who doesn't want a bit of this, a bit of that? So yeah, just manage your expectations, really. Do you sometimes find yourself going back to your old ways and gain a bit of weight? Old ways, yes. How are you staying on top of maintenance? Working out, eating healthy. If you could go back, would you have done it naturally with diet and exercise? No. Were you able to eat more after 1 year? Any regrets now? Of course I was able to eat more. Do you struggle with any food 3 years in? You look stunning, by the way. I don't eat like a lot, like heavy meats. Like yesterday I had a steak, I only ate half of it, but I try to eat only what I can eat. So anything too heavy that I know is going to fill me up quickly, I avoid it, because I don't want to get so filled too quickly. You look amazing, thank you. Did you experience any hair loss? No, I didn't. What made you go for a gastric surgery instead of losing weight the natural way? So this is probably someone that hasn't watched the first video, so I'll just point them back to that video. Have you had complications from the procedure, and how has the sleeve impacted your PCOS? I don't have PCOS, no shade. Want to know how you feel after 3 years. Any complications? No complications at all. Where did I go? I went to Health Store Turkey. What eating plan did your doctor give you? I had the sleeve, but I'm lost. So in the first stage, it was the liquid, then it was the purees, and then it was the small foods, and then you go on to that. They gave me a paper to follow. Did I follow it? No, but it was good to look at. If you're struggling, go back to your doctor. That's what I would say. Do you still feel like it was the right decision for you? 100%. What's a typical what I eat in a day for you now? That's a good question. What is a typical what do I eat in a day? Cup of tea in the morning. I will have like a pastry for breakfast, lunch. I will have like chicken meat, something like that by itself. Dinner, I may have a meal. So if it's meat and rice, I'll have that, but obviously a small portion. I may have like snacks throughout the day. Crisp, you guys call it potato chips. Juices, water. Average stuff, but just like small portions. Do you still vomit if you eat too much? Does your stomach grow back? Do you still need to... Okay, there's a lot of questions. Slow down, honey. Do you still vomit if you eat too much? I don't. I actually don't. No, I don't. Before, for me, it wasn't about the vomiting. It was more about like the phlegm that I would get in my throat. That was just disgusting. But I know my limits now. Does your stomach grow back? I don't know. I actually don't even know. If I find out, I'll put on the screen. Do you still need to manage diet, or it's no longer an issue? Yes, now I need to manage my diet. Do you deal with loose skin? No. I want to do it, but I also don't want to lose my butt. Should I do a BBL then gastric or other way? I would say don't do a BBL. There's this thing called body compositioning. Google it. And it's a way that you can lose fat whilst gaining weight. So you don't have to lose your butt. You can keep maintaining the muscle through working out and gym. So you don't have to get a BBL. Stop. But thank you for all your questions. That was amazing. Would you recommend to young women under 30 and someone wanting kids? Yes. I know there's a girl on YouTube that had a baby 1 year after she had the surgery, and she was fine. Now she's got 2 kids. She still looks great. And I think she's in her 30s. I'm not sure. But yeah, I recommend a surgery to any legal age person that is struggling with their weight. Literally. More questions about would you do it again? Any regrets? Oh, you look absolutely amazing. How are you managing your daily protein intake? I'm not. Was I supposed to? Am I missing something? I actually don't. I hate protein shakes. I eat chicken. Hate breasts. I like legs and thighs, not breasts. I'm bomb. No, I'm joking. How was your eating now? Restricted, loose skin, same questions. Do you regret not able to eat on sad days? Has it in any way caused depression? Well, now, if I want to comfort eat, I can. But in the beginning, yeah, it was a bit sad that, like, there was nothing that could comfort me in food anymore. There was nothing to comfort me. So, yeah, I was depressed for a few days until I got myself busy and started working and took my mind off my body and myself and stuff like that. Have you had to adjust your portions of food even years later? Yes, like I said. Did you gain any weight back? Yes, maintenance. I struggle with body dysmorphia. Any practical tips? Sorry for more content. I lost weight, but still deal with body dysmorphia. Body dysmorphia is in the mind. And from someone that suffered with it, like, I just had to take my mind off of myself. And that might be easier said than done because, like, okay, you've had weight loss surgery. You don't really have to battle it. But one thing I can definitely say is that body disorders is a lot of, like, too much focus on ourselves and not enough focus on Jesus. Honestly, that's my religious answer. I'm sorry. I don't have any other answers. But, yeah, that's it, really. Focusing on the wrong things. Really, focus on better things. Focus on things outside of yourself. Get a hobby, go outside, touch grass, things like that. I don't mean to be insensitive. How much did it cost? Can you do the surgery and recover alone, or will you need someone to go with? So I think it was 4,000 when I did it. I believe it's still 4,000 now. You can recover alone. I feel like just for moral support, it's good to go with someone, but you don't need to. It's not like a BBL or anything like that. You can literally have the surgery, stay one day in the hospital or the hotel and go home. You don't need any special assistance. You can walk, you can move. So yeah, you don't need to. Had mine on New Year's Eve and I've lost just over 6 stone. Wow. Congratulations, Annie. Wow. What I worried about regain though, longer. How are you coping and maintaining your YouTube video really helped me prep? Regain though, longer term, how are you coping and maintaining your YouTube video really helped me to prep? I would definitely say after the first year, if you haven't already, have a meal plan and get in the gym. Do that, like, consistently. I did go to the gym and I did have a meal plan, but it wasn't strict because I'm losing weight anyway. So if I could do anything differently, I would definitely have the meal plan and gym. Literally a 1 year. Once I reached my goal, I would have been intentional about maintenance. So I'm glad you've lost 6 stone now, but please, now you're at that point, focus on maintenance. This video is going to be so long. I'm so sorry. Share any cons? I've shared the cons. Would you do the procedure again? How do you maintain your size? You look amazing. Do you have any regrets? Any scars? Are you able to eat more without feeling sick? Was it worth it? Have you eaten habits got better? Yeah, so I've answered all you guys' questions. So yeah, that's all you guys' questions. I am sweating now. These studio lights are burning me and making me melt like chocolate. So this video is really long. I hope I'm able to cut it down and reduce it. But if it's very, very long and you got to the end, shout out you, the real MVP. If you are seriously considering this surgery, do it. I had so many people tell me that this surgery has changed their life. People look good, they feel good, like they look better. Like, just do it. Bite the bullet and do it this year. Or wait until January. Whatever you want to do, just do it. Don't delay, just do it. And yeah, I'll leave the link below for you guys to check out Health Store Turkey, the place that I got it done. I believe that they're reasonably priced compared to some people. I know some people get it done in the UK and they pay over like 10 grand, and people can be like, oh well, it's safer here. There's nowhere more safe than Turkey. I even think Turkey is more safe than hair, more clean than hair, more skilled than hair. I'm not gonna lie to you. Don't let this anti-surgery tourism put you off. They just want your money. I'd rather pay 4 grand than 15 grand in the UK and be in the nasty hospitals. No shade. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give us a thumbs up. Any more questions down below that I did not answer, I will 100% answer them in the comment section below. Until then, stay beautiful. Bye guys. Mwah.